Are you in the market for a new rice maker? Then this video is for you. Check this out, it's the Rice Robot. Welcome back to another Jeff Reviews for you. In this video, as you can see, we are looking at a rice maker. This is an as seen on TV product. You know what though? Enough talk, let's get right into this review. Are you ready to tackle right into this rice robot? I ended up getting this on sale for right around $40. It does have a retail value of $50. So if you can catch it on sale, it's always a good idea. Let's open this up to see what this rice robot looks like. Unboxed, you can see that we have our rice robot. It does have just a warm and a cook setting, which is a typical rice maker, what you'd expect. We have some directions. They also come with a little spoon or scoop. As we continue with the unboxing, we're going to push this little button on the top, and you can see that is where our rice gets cooked. And so we're going to pull the inside pieces out and take a closer look at those as well. In addition to the scoop and the rice cooker, we also have the ceramic non-stick inner pot. We have a clear measuring cup. This one right here is for rice. We have a blue measuring cup, and I appreciate that it's blue because that is for water. We also have our steamer insert. Before first use, our directions tell us to hand wash all of these with warm soapy water. We can wipe down the rice cooker itself, but that thing should not be submerged in any kind of water. They of course said be careful when utilizing this, make sure it's completely dry because the electronic components, you don't want to shock yourself. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go wash all these, and then we're going to just wipe down the machine itself, and we're going to get to cooking some rice. Although the metal parts are metal, right, and I do think they're going to hold up, they're kind of thin. I was also noticing the plastic here on this is also kind of cheap. That kind of worries me as far as the materials. Man, why didn't they not pick more heavy duty materials, both on the outside plastic and on the metal pans? As far as measurements, this is an 8-inch cube. So it's 8 inches by 8 inches by 8 inches. So just if you're looking for the measurements as far as storage purposes, that's about the size of this rice robot. I have plugged in the cord to the back of our rice robot. It just goes right back here. I didn't show this earlier, but there is a little handle stand, which I appreciate that. Let's turn this back around and start our very first rice cook. Inside of our rice cooker looks just like every other rice cooker. There is a little button that gets depressed down there when you add your pot. So what I'm going to do is we've already wiped this down. You can see with it plugged in, it says warm. I want to get my ingredients in there and start cooking. I'm looking forward to some rice. Before we get started, I do want to make sure I have unplugged it. This is not on. You ought to make sure you are putting your ingredients in without the rice robot on. Let's get started. We're supposed to add 3 of the rice cups. This is just as full as I filled it. I filled it right up to the top. Maybe it's a little over. I'm not going to show you each of the 3 as I pour them in, but this is what it looks like. Of course, that brings us to our water. We're going to fill up this blue cup 3 different times. Once we're done, we're going to add our other ingredients. Now we want a teaspoon of salt. This is just sea salt. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of olive oil. There we go. All of our ingredients are in there now. Rinse out my measuring cup. Before we close this up, let's just stir up our ingredients in here. That's going to try to mix up the oil and the rice and the water, so it's just nice and mixed up. You can see how high our water line is right now. We're almost to what looks like full, or 4 cups or so. So I'm hopeful this works out. Now what we can do is we can close our lid, make sure it is plugged in, and push down to cook. I'm going to come back when this is done. We are just about 25 minutes in, and you can't see that as well as I can, but right here there are some vents on the top of the rice robot, and I can actually see steam coming out through those vents. So I'm guessing anytime soon this light's going to change from cook to warm. I'm really excited. You saw it just then. It clicked from cook to warm. It did take 33 minutes. I was expecting it to take a lot shorter period of time, especially since we were promised it takes about 15 minutes. Anyway, 33 minutes of cook time. Let's pop this open. I will say they tell us this is going to be full of steam. It's going to be hot, so be careful. Whoa, did you see that steam come right off that rice? Let's take a closer look. I am pretty impressed. Although it took 33 minutes, this rice was cooked really, really well. I did want to take all the rice out just to take a look at it. I've tried some, it's delicious, but guess what? It's all cooked perfectly. Nothing is burned. And check out on the inside of that pan, just a little bit of residue. I can get some warm soapy water, clean this off, dry it up, and then I can go again. Very cool. I appreciate the rice robot. So tell me, what are your thoughts of the rice robot? Let me know down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. The rice robot actually did a really good job with the rice. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna try to make some oatmeal. There were no real clear directions, so I'm just gonna do a 1-to-1 mix. There are my oats, Now let's add the water. I am going to use my little spoon and stir everything right on up. Tap that off. Let's close down the rice robot. Plug it in and hit cook. This time it took 27 minutes before it went from cook to warm. It's probably because there's less liquid. Let's open it up. Ooh, there's that steam. I do want to take a look at this oatmeal. I'm kind of nervous. Check that out. I am mixing it up just a little bit because the top was a little more wet than the bottom, but I did not know you can make oatmeal in a rice cooker. That is actually pretty cool. I thought the rice robot did a great job with the rice and the oatmeal. Now, it did take longer than my typical rice maker, but the product in the end was great. We're now going to try the steaming feature, and to me this is almost kind of a joke. This is the smallest little tray I've ever seen. I did have to smush those broccoli pieces down just so it does not make total connection with the lid. I put 2 of the blue cups of water, push my lid closed, cook. This has been rolling for 30 minutes. It still says cook and not warm. I think it's because it's trying to boil off all that water. Unlike rice, you do not need to wait for this to click over to warm. Similar would be if you were cooking pasta, you do want to check in on it from time to time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this open and take a look at that broccoli. You know what? Let's zoom in on that. In my opinion, that broccoli looks completely steamed and ready. I don't need to let this cook anymore. I'm putting this down just to keep it on the warmer setting. Just to show you that this did indeed cook, we are well over 190 degrees Fahrenheit. We're done. In hindsight, I should have probably shut off the steaming feature probably 10 minutes earlier than I did. That broccoli was way over steamed. So similar to that of pasta, you need to check in on this from time to time, making sure you get it to the level of steam or cook that you prefer. I also will say I found it easier to clean up parts of the machine when it was hot versus letting it cool down, because when I noticed when it let it cool down, it was much more difficult to clean. Like there's some spots that have cooled that I've been scrubbing at and it's just really hard to get off. So make sure you clean this, use a hot pad or whatever, and clean it when it's relatively warm. In this video, we are taking a look at a lightweight, portable rice cooker called the Rice Robot. So what do we think of it? First things first, let's talk about that price point. I did pay $40, which if you compare this to other similar size rice cookers, it's about twice the price, even on sale. The company boasts that it's one-touch cooking, meaning you plug it in, you add your ingredients, you push cook, and it's ready to go. Well, to be honest with you, that's what most rice cookers do. So it was pretty easy. I do appreciate the extra cups for perfect measuring. That to me is the most convenient part of this rice cooker. After following the directions, I did have some really great rice. I did some oatmeal that was good. I did over steam some broccoli, but in the future, I'll know what to do. In my opinion, this does a great job with rice. I would not use it for a steamer. It's just too small. Plus, you can buy those steam in the bags anyway. So in my opinion, great for rice. And oatmeal, that kind of stuff, not so much for the steaming feature. I was trying to think who would benefit from this machine. I actually have a rice cooker that's the exact same size, so I like this particular size. 4 cups of rice is perfect for me and my family. I do think those of you that are van life or RVers, this is also great because it's small and portable. I will say, with the exception of the spoon, you can store everything from the Rice Robot together. Therefore, everything is in its place, and when you need it next time, you know exactly where it is. Anyway, that was my full review of the Rice Robot. If this is something that interests you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day.